Just let that go. Beep, 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 beep. Oh, £91. It's staying in weight. Flop it. Another tailor carp, a different kind of setting. Oh, what an incredible carp. Thank you, Lake Leon. Yes. It's an absolutely beautiful day. I ain't going to say does life get better because I've never won lottery. Come on, boys. There we go, lovely. Yes. What a fight that was. I f***ing love carp fishing. Yes. This is going in. Done this before. Plenty of room.
Oh God.
From beautiful Essex to the dark side. That's key. Well, we are back on the road, driving through France, actually into western France, near the German border, to a lake I found out about round about a year ago. The lake is called Lake Leon. I know little or nothing about it, other than it's very tricky and contains some really large carp. 2 over the £85 mark, and yeah, I am buzzing for this because when you come into Europe, especially France, everyone talks about 30 kilo fish, which is a massive carp, £66, but it's not very often you hear the words 40 kilo mentioned. And there's one swimming around this lake, and I cannot wait to set eyes on the place. But we'll have a little look down there, see if we can see anything. It's worth having a walk round for 40 minutes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So as the first day draws to an end, and it's been a long one, we was up at 4 o'clock this morning, travelled across right to the west of France, got to the lake, and I didn't mess around. I put the rods out just using the hunter, because the first day and the first 24 hours is all about monitoring the lake, seeing what's going on. A week is a long time, so I always use this first 24 hours to just see what's going on. They might show early morning, late night, but by tomorrow, things will start to unfold and the week will progress. There's looking like there's going to be a move on the cards because no one else is setting up down the other end of the lake. So at some point I could move, but for now I'm just going to keep my ear to the ground and my eyes open. Right, want to see it there? Right round there. What I might do, I might just stand in that swim so I can line them up, you know?
Yeah. Day one's always about settling in and getting a feel for the lake. I never put pressure on myself. There's plenty of time to adapt. Watch the water, make the changes if needed. We settle down for the first night, cold beer in hand, with high hopes of what the evening may bring.
Well, I've been up since early this morning when the lake was shrouded in a lovely mist, and watching it lift in the sun. And the swim I wanted to go in yesterday, but I couldn't move in because I didn't know if it was booked. They have been in it. I've seen at least 7 fish come right out of the water, right down the other end. It's been very quiet up this end. There's a lot of line pressure here, so I've got a feeling that's why them carp have pushed down into that corner. So we're going to pack up in a minute. We've just had a cup of coffee, get all the gear back down that end, set up. And Wednesday, I've looked at the weather report, and at the moment it's saying there's going to be slight rain, 10-mile-an-hour wind going into that corner, which I think could be the catalyst to actually catching a fish, because this is definitely not an easy lake. But we did find out that 3 weeks ago it did a 42 kilo common, which is, that's what we've come here for, a fish of that kind of size. But literally at the moment we just want to get off the mark, and that's not an easy feat on this lake, but we're going to move and see what we can do. So all carp anglers love coming to France, and I've fished all over it now, although not as far as I've gone now. This is west. I've never been really to the west before, and as you drive along in your van you can't help but notice the different gravel pits, rivers, canals, and they all contain carp. And the maddest thing, probably all contain massive carp, and that's the thing that makes France so attractive and desirable to the anglers in the UK. And I'm constantly whipping my head round, looking out the window, trying to put something on a map, trying to remember where places are. You could literally come out here for an entire summer and lose yourself fishing for enormous carp.
Before making a move, we had to hit the shops. And there's something strangely funny about exploring local supermarkets over here. Stocking up on good grub, and of course, being France, it'd be rude not to grab a few bottles of wine and some decent beer. Back at the lake, and it doesn't take long before the decision to move really pays off.
Well, we've moved down here today, gone to the supermarket, got some beers, and we see a few fish out here this morning. And then this afternoon I've seen maybe 7 or 8 fish, and I've dropped this one along the tree line on a treble tiger. It's probably been out there about 4 hours, and it's gone while we're here with the lake owner chatting about the fish. And when you're playing a fish on a lake where there's fish over 40 kilo, your heart starts pumping, I tell you. And yeah, it was a proper battle to get it away from the trees. Yeah, it's coming in. I want to get it in the next. It is our first bite. We've been here about probably 40 hours. So it's quicker than I actually anticipated us getting a bite, but I'm going to try and get it in. And yeah, that was a war. Getting it off that far bank under them trees, I was literally hanging on, and it was shit or bust. I literally was hanging onto the rod for dear life, and I felt the odd branch pinging off of that line. But yeah, now I'm still very nervous, and that's after 40 years of carp fishing. Still nervous. That was the one I saw under the tree, so yeah, it was, yeah. You might need to strip off. Thank you, mate. Come on. There you go, Si, reach out for that. Go on, mate. Yeah, that's in. Get in! Yes! Yes, mate, yes. Well, our first fish of the session, and it's definitely a tricky lake, so I wasn't expecting one so quick. But I did see a couple of fish in a tree just near where I've just caught this fish. So we were stood there having a beer with the owner of the lake, chatting about what's in here, and the rod's gone. So let's see what this fish is. And it is 50 pound. Yeah, literally 50 pound. So that will do. That will do very nicely for a start. And if it had come off, I'd have thought I'd lost the biggest fish in the lake, because the fight was ridiculous. The power in this fish was a joke. Careful. Well, check that out. Our first fish of the session, bang on 50 pounds, and an absolutely incredible common. And I've seen one under that tree today, 20 pound bigger than this, an absolute monster. So this is our first day in swim 8. We moved, got down here on the wind where the fish were showing, and that move's paid off, thanks to the camera crew, because I know I uprooted you this morning. And yeah, next beer is on me, lads. What a start to Lake Leon, 50 pound. Whee! I'm going to get it back because it's very lively. But you can see they've spawned recently. There's a few marks on it, so I'm going to put a little bit of Pro Care on it, give a little bit of treatment, and then put it back. Still a bit. First Lake Leon carp, a lovely 50 pound common. Thank you very much. What a beautiful day. There's one over 30 pound bigger than that in here. Well, we just had that fish. Bearing in mind, we're after 2 fish this week. This is a very, very tricky lake, and I'd seen a few fish in that tree today over there, and that just goes to show, you know, we've done 24 hours over there, got up at first light this morning, watched the water, seen the fish down in this corner, and moved. And you know, moving at home's easy, chucking the gear on a barra, moving down the other end of the lake. But when you're moving around probably 60 acres of lake with 3 bivvies, 2 cameramen, it's not an easy move, but it was worth every second. We've already had a lovely 50 pound common, and now we've got our second fish on. Unbelievable. We was hoping for this for the week. And it wasn't too long ago that I was at the back of the van preparing a curry for tonight's dinner. And yeah, sun is in my face. It's an absolutely beautiful day. yeah. I ain't gonna say does life get better because I've never won lottery. So it is 10 foot straight away under your rod tips here. So as soon as you're, you know, the fish are in the edge, they really do ruck as you start to pull them up that shelf. Well, that's my experience of the one I've caught so far, and this one is doing exactly the same. Another one, come on, in you go, in you go. Yes! Don't you start. Well, I can't even see what that fish is because the sun is banging my eyes, and I reckon it's bigger than the last one. It's a proper lump. Didn't fight as hard as the last one, but yeah, it's another. Bloody hell, what's happening? It's brilliant. I f***ing love carp fishing. Do you know what I think it is? As they're coming out of them trees. Here we go. Moment of truth. £53. Look at that, yes baby. Well, look at that. £53 common. I hadn't even put the bobbin on. Literally drops the rig, 9 foot of water off this marginal shelf. I'm still bringing the boat back. £53. And that is a mega one. Absolutely wicked Leon Lake carp. I'm so glad we come here. All right, baby. Yeah. What a mega carp. And we're on day one, full day from the move this morning. Who knows what the rest of the week will bring. I know it's a really tricky lake, so if this is all it brings, I'll still be going home happy, but 2 bites, £50 and £53. Bloody unbelievable. Look at that. Thank you. What we're saying, Si? Yes. Yes, lads.
Sweet. Well done, mate.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Cheers, Si.
What an end to the day. 2 lovely mint 50+ commons. And there's no better way to celebrate than sitting back with a drop of wine. Hopefully things are going to get even better because this is going to be a hard one to top.
Well, good morning. We're on the second full day and it is a lovely morning. It was very foggy this morning, but it's lifted. The wind has started pushing back into the snag. And after we went to the supermarket yesterday, we come back and I got the rods out. The guy who runs the lake was down with his family and we was all having a bit of a chat, and the left-hand rod over on them trees is like mounted off. And I've had a 50, really nice fish. They left. Shortly after, I got the rod back out. I hadn't even put the bobbin on. It's gone again at a 53, and we was in shock because we know we're fishing a very tricky lake, and to get 2 that quick back to back yeah, it sort of threw us a little bit, but it was brilliant. So it was only day one, and we've had 2 fish, what we're sort of expecting for the week. This morning, nothing through the night. The night seemed very quiet, although the fish have a good show every evening and sort of give away where they are. And this morning I've seen quite a few fish, and I was toying with the idea of putting a zig out because there's no snags or weed out in front of me, and I think I could play them out because the fish were doing that very gentle shows. But I decided to just drive the hunter out, nice and quiet among them, half a can of corn, a white Ronnie rig, dropped it among them, didn't even put the bobbin on. We're sitting here having a cup of tea, and it's absolutely roared off. And I've got my 3rd fish down there. Mirror, it looks like a low 30, so we get it out and have a look in a moment. But the lake is absolutely beautiful. I love it here. And it's dead quiet, loads of wildlife, herons. We've just seen an osprey fly over. It's an absolutely beautiful place. But what I'm going to do is finish this tea, and then we're going to get this fish out and have a look. Well, you can see these fish spawned a week ago in this lake, and they're still bearing the scars of it here. So it's always nice. I'm going to give them a little bit of pro care, give them a helping hand in the cuts that they've got, the lifted scales, and that'll help them heal really fast. And you can see that taking effect already. It's such good stuff, this. It was actually designed by a fish vet, not just bought from somewhere. We got a fish vet to specially design it because it can be used on the body and the mouth. So yeah, that Pro Care is absolutely brilliant stuff. So when I come out to Europe, I'm just like you. I come out here with preconceived ideas that I've looked up on the internet, YouTube, spoke to Lake, the guy that runs the fishery. Is there crayfish? Is there possum shatter, a little catfish that eats everything? Is there weed? So when I arrive at the lake, my van is packed out with kit that I may need. In my van, I've got a Raptor boat. I haven't used it because I'm on fish. I don't want to be rowing over their head, and it's a lot more stealthy for me to use the hunter nice and quietly over their heads. But things like fish location, I started off at one end of the lake, kept me ears, which are important, and your eyes open, because at night you will hear a lot of fish, then move on to the fish. So don't just get here and think, oh, I'm going to set myself up in one swim, pile 30 kilo of bait in and spend the week there. That is not the way to approach your European fishing. A lot of the time when I come to Europe, I bring 40-50 kilo of bait and go home with at least 30 of it. So when you come here, sack off the preconceived ideas, use your eyes, your ears. The fish will tell you where they are. And later on this week, I will talk to you about location, finding fish, weather conditions, and why fish do what they do and sit in certain areas.
One of the best things out here is meeting others who share the same passion, swapping stories, soaking it all in, and just appreciating nature in that moment. I feel proper blessed to come away and do what I do, to see the venues I see and meet the people I meet, catch the fish I catch. It's something I never take for granted. I cherish the work I'm able to do, and it reminds me of how lucky I am to be part of this world. For me, fishing has always been a bit of an art. I'm constantly tweaking things, fine-tuning rigs, changing little details to suit each venue. Even when I'm sat back, cup of tea in hand, I'm working it out. I'm watching the water, clocking it for signs, keeping things interesting, figuring it out bit by bit until it all comes together.
You ready, Si?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, a lovely mid-30 common this morning, just on daybreak. Again, it's come off of that bush, and before we get that rod back out today, we're going to walk round and show you exactly where we're having these fish and why we think they're going there during the days. But yeah, lovely common, cool little patch on the side of him there, but £35. We keep going, you never know, you might bump into a real monster. I've had 2 takes this morning, but one popped off, it dropped back and just fell off, which is annoying because as it took line it had weight to it. You know, I think it would have been another good fish. But, this looks like a upper 20, low 30. And very angry. He has just swum probably 140 yards. I don't know why he's got any energy left. Still angry. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. What I should do now is get this in and get the rod back out, but we're all starving and I've just found out there's a McDonald's 9 minutes away. So we're going there and we're going to bait that swim up on the way past. Okay, so this spot I'm fishing's got quite a nasty snag to the left, and obviously I don't want to be fishing 140 yards against that and losing them. So I'm baiting the snag and drawing a line of food out of that snag to bring the fish down to it, which means I can then hook them and get them away safely, which has been happening. And remember, I'm using the Hunter 750 to get the rod over here. And the problem with bait boats is sometimes they drop bait in one big clump and it's very easy to fish, for the fish to get away with feeding on the rig. So I'm coming round and I'm just spraying a little bit of bait up and down to get them moving between food items, and it's going to make them make mistakes a lot more. So I've not gone mad, I've put about 5 or 6 of these scoops along here, very little ones, and just spread it. I'm going to go back, get the rod out, and hopefully we're now on a few fish. The chance for a big one is really on the cards. I've just gone and looked in the snag and there's at least 6 fish in there, a few 30s, one that looks a 40, and then an absolute zoo creature. That's the one we want to get out, tease along these snags and get a chance of hooking this week.
When you've been carp fishing for as long as I have, you would think the buzz might fade, but it never does. Even now, I still get the same excitement when I pull up to a new water. For me, every new venue is a new adventure. Of course, landed big carp is always a plus. But it's more than that. It's the build-up, the graft, the unknown, the journey. It matters just as much as the prize. This trip turned out to be something special. Great fish so far, plenty of laughs, and top people alongside. And of course, there's the unsung heroes of every film, the cameramen, who make this look as good as it does, along with the editor. This place is just amazing, but Lake Leon was far from done yet.
This carp is it was one of them fish. It just wanted to go. It come off the tree line, which was good because I was just chatting about rods, and I was saying this and this ain't a plug. These Free Spirit ERs probably the best rod I've ever used because they're stiff enough to chuck anywhere if you want to. But they also, when you're fishing against trees and things, the rod is playing the fish for you, and you ain't even moving. You're just betting into it. This fish absolutely steamed off. It come off that tree line, probably done about 40-50 yard run out into open water, and it's their first bite of the day. I didn't get anything last night, and I'd seen a few fish over there, so I felt a bit paranoid this morning, so I reeled the rod in, and lo and behold there was a stick on the hook, so I reckon I'd unintentionally dropped that bait boat, and it's obviously landed on a pile of sticks, even though it's in a similar area I'd been getting bites from. So I cleared it, redone the rod with not much bait, kept it nice and light, and yeah, and it's gone, but not quick. I think it's been out there about 3 or 4 hours. So as the sun comes up, which there ain't much of today, the fish are moving in under that tree, and as they come up that shelf, they're finding my bait. And yeah, it seems to be doing us a few bites at the moment. Yeah, so this is a 7th bite, Wednesday morning, and yeah, hopefully we'll get it in, because we was thinking 2 fish for the week. I knew this lake was tricky. I've been told it was tricky. There was an angler from England on here last week who caught 1 carp all week. And it's mainly fished by the Dutch and the French. We've even got some guys from Switzerland here, which you don't see very often. But yeah, I'm going to concentrate for a minute, getting this fish in, because I'm basically waffling and nervous. There it is. And it's a decent mirror. I've only had 1 mirror this week, so it'd be nice to get a nice mirror. There we go. Come on, girl. Keep going. Whee. In you go, come on. There we go, lovely. Yes, it ain't a bad fish, but I thought it was going to be bigger than it was, but it's certainly not a bad fish. Whew, fish number 6. And in my head, before I come here, I knew that 3 to 4 would be good in a week. So I thought I'd try and catch 6, and number 6 is in the net. One, 2. £46. I must be seeing too many carp, because I've just literally spent the whole spring fishing abroad, which I know is like a dream come true to most people, and it is to me as well. So I've not done much English fishing. That's going to change after this, but what happens, you lose your perception of fish. I was looking at this thinking it was maybe 41 pound and it was 46. But oh, check out the fins on him. Every single fin on him, it ain't just big, it's meaty. It's like an Arnold Schwarzenegger of fish. Let's put some water on him. Yes, check him out. Mega one. Yeah, what a carp. And that was a result of moving that rod this morning. That was back on the same spot, but I just felt there weren't something right. You know, like, you know the bite times. And if you go through bite times and nothing happens, that's the time to quickly check out what's going on. My rig was on a stick, I repositioned it. About 2 hours later, it's gone. And we've had this lovely carp, 46 pound.
Carp fishing allows you to become part of the landscape, not just an observer. It's not about switching off, it's about turning on. When you take time to understand your surroundings, you watch and you listen, and the fishing looks after itself. The more connected you are out here, the better your decisions become. You move with the lake, not against it. And even if the rods do stay quiet, you walk away with something, a new insight, a new understanding. For me, carp fishing has never been about just catching fish. It's about being part of something bigger. The water, the wildlife, the whole environment, that's where the real value is. That's where you really find the soul in it. There's something about being on the bank that brings you closer to everything around you. You start to notice patterns, how the wind pushes into a bay, the fish showing themselves at certain times, how the coons feed, even how the reeds sway just a little bit more when something moves beneath the surface.
What's the stock in here then, mate? 38,000. When it's good. Just let that go. Beep, 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 beep. Oh, £91 standing weight. Flop it. Well, we've seen a fish up there as well, we said. We've seen one fish up there. We've seen two here, one there. But the one I saw out there was, well, definitely a carp, you know what I mean? Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. Woodpecker that, mate. I can't believe my mate, it was going for it, this bird. No, that's a woodpecker. And he went, oh, I thought it was a cuckoo. And I was like, you. So when you come to France, you'll go into the Carrefour or the supermarket and you may come across a lot of beers. So basically, I'm going to give you some advice on what beers to go with. And on a Wednesday, on a tail of carp, we have a Wonky Wednesday. So I've become quite the expert on beers. Simon! The first beer I will test, I do not know the name of. very nice, very English. I feel like fighting, so I don't know what it is. I would guess a Stella. Simon, take the cup. Next beer. Thank you, Simon. Next beer on the Wonky Wednesday. And bear in mind, I cannot see. I would say this is a 1664. A very mature beer, an oak taste to it, absolutely beautiful. Maybe one of the best beers I've ever drunk. Next, Simon, hold on.
That's enough.
Don't show me the beer. So the next beer, wow. Woo, that's strong. I would say that is a Leffy, and that is the 9% Leffy. If you drink this, reel your odds in. Simon, next beer. Some of these beers are quite nice, some of them are too strong. Simon, don't show me the beer, let me guess this one. That's basically like licking the bum of a camel. That is like ferret's piss. That's about 2%. I don't even want to put that near my mouth again. Is there any more beers left to taste, Simon?
One more.
One more. The cameraman's now being sick. Okay, the last beer. That. Now that is the best beer I've tasted. So we've had, I reckon, Stella. I don't know what the middle beer was. It was absolutely disgusting. But this is I would say a Leffy. Yeah. You can leave me with this, and remember, Wonky Wednesdays, they're a thing, lad. They're the middle of the week. When you get to the middle of the week, if you've had a good one, and we have, then you celebrate it. So it is the morning after Wonky Wednesday, and that is a tradition that we've done at RidgeMonkey right from the beginning, where on the Wednesday we down cameras and we all have a good drink and a catch up and let our hair down. Obviously not me, but yeah, the fish, the weather has really changed dramatically. We've had that real nice few days where the fish were getting in and under them trees, and now they've pushed out into open water, and I'm pretty sure we're going to get a bite out of open water today. They're showing all over the place. I ain't seeing many big fish though, a lot of sort of smaller fish, so I'm hoping among them is the monster we've travelled out here to try and catch. But yeah, we're having a really nice time here. It's actually a really beautiful lake, and definitely somewhere I'm going to visit again if I don't catch that monster common this week that we've decided to name Cedric. Oh no, I thought Cedric was better. All right, it's Cyril. I couldn't remember it. Too much drink. I can smell them out there today. Screamed along that margin, really kited round, and I did feel it got into some weed, but I've managed to get it out. $56. Nice. There you go. Oh, flat as a pancake, that fish. I reckon a few weeks ago she was fucking right up there. Yeah, 56. Weirdly, do you know when that went in? I actually thought that looks about the same size as Charlie's mate. It's actually a little bit smaller. Well, look at that for an absolute chunk. £56, and they spawned just over a week ago. I reckon it would have been about £4 heavier than that, but I'm well pleased with that. Typical big fish take, nice and slow, absolutely stripped line from me, and I knew it was a good fish straight away. And what a mega carp, loads of character, and this is what we came to Lake Leon for, one of the big commons. And they're much bigger than this in here, but I ain't moaning with this one. It's an absolute unit. Well, check her out. Another tailor carp, another monster carp, a different kind of setting. Where we're going next. See you later, darling. Fish 7, yes. Not a monster, but literally that fish screamed off so fast it burnt my finger holding the spool. And yeah, that's what I've been seeing out there. Like, I must have seen about 4 fish. We've seen nothing all morning. It rained most of the night. We had a little bit of a social, a Wonky Wednesday. And then this morning, they've just turned up, 3 or 4 shows in front of me. So I quickly moved 2 rods on Ronnie rigs, yellow pop-ups, dropped them on their heads with a little bit of mainline boiling, a few bits of sweet corn, and it is it's gone. This is the only thing with fishing 200 yards. With 6-ounce leads, it's when it comes to reeling them in. Good shoulder exercise. And while I've got that fish down there in the net, all I'm going to do is stick this bait straight back out where I've just caught that fish. Might get a chance at another one. Well, we're sitting here, and although we have just had one a little while ago, it's been quite quiet today, so I'm already preparing rigs for next week, because after spending most of the spring in Europe, well, I say most of my fishing I've done this year has been in Europe, 5 films, I'm looking forward to actually getting back to England and doing a bit of UK fishing. My brain never switches off from carp, and I'm thinking about the fish I want to catch when I get back to England after I've spent a bit of time at home. But I'm just going to show you the rig I've been using here, which is the multi-rig. And I've really favoured this abroad in recent years. One, because it suits pretty much any size bait, because you can put any size hook on it you want. And when I say it's simple, it's actually a joke. It's basically a figure of 8 knot at each end of a bit of Camo X 35 pound. I have a sinker in the middle, large, Then you get a little knot. I put a little bit of putty over the knot on the figure of 8 knot, and then slide on a kicker, put on a hook, mini ring swivel, and there it goes. And this rig is, as you can see, super aggressive. Just the weight of the bait alone turns the hook point over. And I'm using a medium curve size 4, which is quite a thin wire hook, but I've had a lot of big fish on that hook. Once they go in, they don't come out. They're really good. So that's the rig I've been using for pretty much most of my European fishing. Right now for the UK, I'm tying up a couple of blowback rigs, getting ready for end of next week, going fishing after my target fish in the UK. I'm already buzzing about it. Yeah.
I'm waiting for him to say this could be big, lads.
Literally 63.15. Oi, flap like that, you can be 70. Oh yeah, £64. 64, yeah. Come on, boys! Here we go. Come on, baby. You just behave and we can go back. Well, let's get up there. Big Fish Thursday has certainly lived up to its name. And the start of the week, I knew we had to move down here. This weather front was coming down. We got here before it. Bait out there, in place, nice and stealth. And this is the effort. This is what happens when you put effort in, lads. Monster carp. 64 pounds of Leon Lake mirror. An absolute brute of a carp. Absolutely buzzing with that. I love carp and I love carp fishing. Oh, that's fucking heavy. What an ending to this episode of A Tale of Carp. We've been everywhere, rivers, massive lakes, a big French reservoir. Lake Leon has been amazing to us. Do you know what, next? I think I'm going to go to a country I've never been to before and try and catch a 25 kilo fish. But right now I'm putting this beautiful 64 pounder back in its home. Thank you, Lake Leon. Oh, what an incredible carp. Yes. Yeah, boy. Woo!
Number 10.